Film Buffering.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Film Buffering. I'm one of your hosts, Colter Harkins, and I'm here today with Alex Tate and Andrew Johnson, and we're going to talk to you about a movie that you may or may not have seen yet. It's called Gunpowder Milkshake.
I need to exchange some books.
Come.
Scarlett's kid. How is your mother?
I haven't seen her in 15 years.
Let's get you into a good book.
You'll need a Jane Austen.
A Virginia Woolf.
And an Agatha Christie. For reading.
Sam, your talents are needed. Somebody stole from us.
Who's crazy enough to steal from the firm?
Is it done?
There's a change of plan. They have an 8-year-old girl. I can't leave her to die.
Sam, you killed the wrong people. You're no longer under our protection.
Some bad men are coming to hurt us. We have to go where it's safe. Hi, Mom. Am I a grandmother? God, no. Girls, I think I see a ghost. We need weapons.
Give the kill order.
I'm gonna do terrible things to you girls.
We're gonna bring the sky down on their heads.
I'm gonna make a little noise.
So, what's the plan? I called as an Uber.
Are you kidding me? Nope.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
If I get out of this alive, I'm coming for you. You are an incredibly impressive young woman. There's not a single person on earth I'd rather kill people with.
Thanks, Mom.
Are you a serial killer?
What?
You kill people,
Yes.
and you've killed more than one. That is serial.
It's more complicated than that.
That movie looks awesome. It is. 3 generations of women fight back against those who could take everything from them. It's a weird tagline. Anyway, starring Karen Gillan, Lena Headey, Carla Gugino, or Gugino, I don't know how to say her name, Michelle Yeoh, and I don't want to forget her because she's awesome, Chloe, what is her last name? Coleman, who's awesome. My Spy, terrible movie, but Chloe Coleman, very, very talented upcoming actress right now. Anyway, it's also directed by Navat Pupushato. I think that's how you say his name. It was also written by him and Ehud Lavsky. Obviously, they are American.
And Paul Giamatti's in it.
And Paul
Giamatti.
Who was also great in this movie.
Friend of the show, Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, lots of money, great actor. Anyway, what do you boys think about this movie? Let's start with you, Andrew.
I really was hoping you wouldn't come to me first, actually.
All right, let's start with you, Alex.
Wait, no, I'll take it.
Oh, wait,
Because
let's start with you, Andrew.
I summed it up perfectly.
I'm listening.
This movie felt like a really long preview for this movie.
They saw what happened with the Suicide Squad, and they're like, yeah, let's do that. And then people are like, no, that failed. And they're like, yeah, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, it just nothing.
And by failed, I mean made $400 million.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-chingery. Money, oh money, how I love thee. Cha-ching, cha-chong, cha-changaroo. From pennies to dollars, any amount will do.
Nothing really happened. This was a long movie. It was long, and nothing happened. Like, I seriously feel like it could have been condensed. Like, all the actual things occurring in this movie could have been condensed to maybe a 30-second preview. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fair enough. Alex, what did you think about this movie?
I tend to agree with a lot of what Andrew said. On top of nothing happening, there also were no people in the entire city, except the people in the stars of the movie. I was like, wait, this is an abandoned bowling alley? Wait, this is an abandoned mall? Wait, this is an abandoned parking lot? Wait, this is an abandoned street? Oh, this is an abandoned library? Where are we? Where are we? There's no people here.
You ever been to Wyoming?
Like, they couldn't afford extras or background actors. Anyway, I digress. That's not about the movie. The movie to me was kind of.
I think.
Go ahead.
Just to go off that point real quick, because I think that does come up so often in movies where readers just like, yeah, this happens to be an abandoned parking garage. Which obviously, how often do you run into a lot of people in a parking garage? But then we just kind of accept that for a lot of situations where this movie was like, no, there's nobody anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very confusing to me. And they didn't really explain it at all. Even like the apartment building that the mom lived in, they like escaped through the washing machine or whatever, and they came out into a kitchen that was empty. And then there was like one guy or whatever. But anyway, the movie itself, I thought was a mixed bag. I thought, like Andrew said, it was super long. Like, there was so much slow motion in it, and I think that was to cover up the terrible fighting. But there was also slow motion when they would just like walk, like the mom walked in the first scene, and it was slow motion, like from the door to the table. And I was like, why is this in slow motion? So anyway, they could have cut down the runtime for sure, getting rid of some of the slow-mo. The library fight was like 20 freaking minutes long. Like, I just stopped watching it. Like, I was just not even watching the TV anymore. I was like, okay, when this fight scene is over, maybe I'll start watching again. But it was too long. And then they didn't even focus on the like cool part. Like, they didn't even go take down the firm at the end. They just threatened Paul Giovanni, who was helping them. And then that was it. They didn't even try to take down the firm. They're like, we know where you live. We'll kill you.
Go back to the partners and tell them we know where they work, where they live. We can kill them 100 times over without them ever seeing us coming.
I don't know. But at the same time, the cinematography was awesome. The lighting was awesome. The costumes were awesome. The colors were awesome. So I think there were a lot of good things that reminded me of John Wick in a lot of ways, like the visuals. But I'll stop talking, let Colter talk.
No, I just 100%. I'm like, the third act of this movie, I fell asleep. And I was like looking forward to it because I love all of these female action stars that they brought into this movie. And I was like, oh, they're not in this movie. They're going to be in the third act. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I was a huge fan of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon when I was a kid. I was so much looking forward to her just crushing everybody with Michelle Yeoh, and then like Carla Guggiani, and it was awesome. Like all these actresses, I was so excited for that. And by the time that they got to that third act, I was dead in the water. I did not care. I totally zoned out. I did not like want to watch any more of this movie, which sucks because I agree, but it was totally just like pastiche, but with no elevation. It was a guy who was trying to do a Nicholas Winding Refn movie,
Yeah.
And then instead of making it more exciting or better, it was just like, no, this is that, but with even less writing, which is notoriously Nicholas Winding Refn's bad spot was his writing. It's like he crushes the visuals and nothing else. And there's like, this guy's like, yeah, I want to do that. And also not write it movies.
No substance.
The bowling alley scene was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. The fight scene was pretty fun and entertaining. And then nothing. It was a bad John Wick, a bad Drive, a bad Neon Demon, all
Bad
rolled
Kill
into
Bill.
one movie.
Bad
The
Kill
pacing
Bill.
killed it.
Yeah.
A bad Kill Bill.
Yeah.
It was just even the costume. Like he literally just put her in the same jacket that oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? That what's his face wore in Drive, Ryan Gosling wore in Drive, like the exact same jacket.
Oh yeah, like the bowling jacket.
All the lighting was the same. It was all the same, but with nothing new. It, like you take a Tarantino who does this with his movies, takes literal shots for a shot from another movie, but makes it better and makes it his own and uses it to elevate his story. And this is that, but it's subtraction. It doesn't add to whatever he stole from before him.
One particle of unobtainium has a nuclear reaction with the flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider.
I just want to say, this was such great lighting. This was one of the best lit films I've seen in a long time. It was beautiful. I actually think this and John Wick 3, ironically, was so beautifully lit. And I think that they both really set a really nice standard with the digital lighting and the way that you can utilize that camera setup to capture these beautiful scenes in this really neon, like 3-tone color lighting. And then they didn't do anything with it afterward. So it was a lot of really great lighting and really beautiful shots. And then it turned into nothing. And then you got so bored that you didn't even care about these pretty decent action sequences in the end that were just so long that you just don't care about them anymore.
They were just so spaced out. Like, the pacing was, for what they were trying to do, the pacing just really threw me because it was so long between action sequences and even really any substantive sequences at all of dialogue. There just seemed like a lot of dead space.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were just really trying to show off like the cinematography and stuff or what, but just like it didn't capture your attention because it was just like, okay, when is the next thing even gonna happen?
Yeah.
When should I be paying attention even?
And it's actually, it felt like the first 2 acts were pretty decent and like not great, but pretty decent. They still had a decent pace, but then it kind of started to drag about halfway through the movie. And then it really lost my interest.
Well,
Which
and
sucks because I don't feel like any of the actresses I felt like all had pretty solid performances in the first half act, or the first act, or first act, first half of the second act. The performances were pretty decent. I wasn't a huge fan of Karen Gillan's performance in this, even though I think she's a pretty decent actress. But the all your superstars of the Lena Headey and the Michelle Yeoh and Carla and Angela Bassett were all really solid in their scenes together, in that they carried whatever the little bits were and worked off each other really well, because they did in a lot of oneers, like single shot of them, and they all did their little bits and worked off each other really well. But then they just fell apart when they just tried to turn it into an action sequence at the end.
Which sucks.
I'm off my soapbox. Somebody else.
Which sucks because the pace, like I said earlier, like if they had cut down some of that fat, they could have went after the firm. Like they talk about the firm and they're like all against the firm and the firm is evil and let's kill the firm, and then they spend the whole movie like fighting these random gangsters that we don't know anything about, that she killed his son.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we focusing on these guys? They should be like a little hiccup in the road on the way to the firm. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like when I was watching the library fight, I was like, there's literally no way they're gonna go take down the firm in this movie. Like, it's not gonna happen. I was like, is there gonna be a sequel, or
the thing that we actually want is not gonna happen for sure.
Right. The movie with like this dialogue and the script itself just really threw me, because I just thought it was terrible. Every time someone would talk, I was like, really? This is the line? I mean, the bowling alley fight. The bowling alley fight was literally one of the worst fight sequences I've ever seen. Like, they sped up parts of it.
It looked like she literally could not physically hold that thing up more than here. I was like, she's too weak to literally hold this up enough to block a shot.
Yeah.
Coordinate it for her to just. She was just doing a full-blown Steven Seagal, like, this is my range of movement.
But if you can't do a fight scene, then hide it with like camera shots. You know, like Bourne, like the Bourne movies. I'm sure Matt Damon. Well, I'm not sure, but I assume Matt Damon can do some like fighting. But in Bourne, they like jump all over the place or whatever for those fights, and it was fine. Whatever. We understood they were fighting. But this scene, it was like a wide, like panning shot. And but they couldn't hide any of their terrible fighting, like faking the punches, and like they sped up parts like a freaking Guy Ritchie movie, and that's the only part in the movie they did that, and it looked terrible. It looked absolutely terrible. I'm trying to think.
Again, it looked bad in a beautiful setting. It was so beautifully lit.
Yes. Yeah, true.
But the choreography and everything else did not live up to what they set themselves up with. It was very disappointing.
Yeah. And then
I feel like
go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead.
I feel like this is like a sassy comment that I've heard said so many times, but I don't think I've ever actually said it. But this movie seems to warrant it. The acting was one-dimensional. And I really think the lead actress, Karen Gillan. Karen Gillan?
Yeah, she's Nebula.
Her character just had, and it was exactly that.
Yeah.
She just played that same character, and it really was like the perfect example of just kind of playing anger. She's just like, I'm anger.
That's anger. He cares very deeply about things being fair.
So that's how you want to play it, old man?
Yeah.
Bitter. And that's it. There didn't seem to be any levels to it or anything. And I don't want to just like bash her, because I'm sure she's a great actress. It might have been the direction she was given or whatever, but
you felt like a lot of the other characters did a lot with what they were given. Like a lot of the other actors, I won't say that they made it a great movie, but they did stuff with what they were given. Apology Amadi or any
the
of
little girl.
The little girl. Oh my
she was
gosh.
good.
We do have to give that. She is so good. She's bringing so much depth and character to whatever she does. Having watched her in 2 movies, I'm like, how are you doing so much stuff in these few little bits that you have? Like, she really is bringing some heat.
The heat? That's not heat. You want heat?
I feel like Michelle Yeoh brought some, of all people, one non-English speaking, like, really, she's a foreign actress with an incredible background, like one of the best martial artists on film for a long time. And she brought some humor to her character, and
they gave her no good fight. All she did was like fight 2 people the same exact way with a chain. She fought one dude and killed him with a chain. And then I was like getting bored at that point, because it was that long library fight. So I was like starting to look down at my phone. And I looked back up, and she's fighting another dude the same way with a chain. I was like, give her some variety.
did you not watch Crouching Tiger, where there's literally a probably a 10-minute sequence with it's her and another actress fighting with like 10 different weapons.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like she knows how to do. It's her. She knows how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I know she's a little bit older now, but she can still do all of this stuff and make it cool.
You know what was cool was the like car chase type scene where she was like having the girl drive. I liked it. I thought that was pretty well done. Except for it makes no sense when someone like parks a bright red, I think it was bright red car.
Yeah.
And since it's parked, they now don't see it anymore. But it was a fun scene.
It was like, yeah, you needed to do that with Karen Gillan in the fighting scenes because she clearly couldn't do the fight.
I think Paul Giamatti was like the unsung hero of this movie because he had a lot of conviction. Like I believed him way more than anybody in this movie.
Yeah,
and
it was worse than the freaking Volkswagen commercials that he's having to work.
They never finished those. Why was there not like a third one? Where are they going? I was assuming like the Super Bowl, they would be like they would have like an ending.
And then we're gonna get something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more looking forward to the next Volkswagen commercial than I am the.
Please, just tell me where we're going.
This just felt like another movie, kind of like we've talked about lately, where it's just like the potential was really there. They could have done more with like the script and everything, but the setup, how they set everything up, I was like, okay, I get it. I get where this is going, shoot, bang, bang, action sequences and whatever. And there was just a lot of dead space and empty buildings. And that was pretty much it.
We're going to do a cool film noir thing, and then we're going to switch to John Wick for no reason and just do their, like, we have a weird society thing, which kind of plays through the diner into the library, but then forget about it because nobody else respects these rules.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, they showed up in the diner dressed as diner people, and the diner people were like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
I think this is the thing that like a John Wick does really well, which this movie did not, was like John Wick, everybody in that world respects the same laws.
Yeah.
These are the laws for everybody in this world, and everybody plays by it and is aware of it.
It's law of the jungle, Sarah.
And this was like, this is this diner where this is the rules and everywhere else is a different thing. And then this library that some people know about, and then they're gonna come attack it, and their rules kind of fall.
And then the hospital where like the doctor is easily bribed into betraying her.
Where she's like, you gotta put your gun in this, and then like we don't locked it up, so she can just walk back in and be like, okay, I put my gun in here earlier. And it's gonna flip back out.
Oh my gosh. Although that fight with like her dead arms though didn't make any sense because how do you pull the trigger? But it was kind of a cool little fight. The metal on her back that like protects her from bullets, even though it's just like a little tray or whatever. That was pretty stupid. That was pretty stupid.
In the diner, I noticed, so two of them had shotguns, and then one of them had two pistols, and the two shotgun girls go, chick, 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 and then the pistol one, you just hear a chick, 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 and I'm like, she's holding two separate pistols. It's not,
how does she
like, I'm like, ugh. Whatever.
No,
anyway.
Don't you know, as soon as you pick up a gun, it cocks itself.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you pick up a knife or a sword in a movie, it goes, just even if you pick up like a little, steak knife, if it's gonna murder someone, it goes.
All right, there's a lot of problems with the movie, but we got to come to a conclusion. Alex, how do you feel about this movie? How many thumbs out of 10 are you giving it?
All right. It was really pretty. It was really pretty. I think it was pretty entertaining. It wasn't great, but you could pop it in while you're cleaning the house, or to be honest, I feel like you can sit and watch most of it and then fast forward through some slow-mo fights. I don't know. I wouldn't fast forward through it. I'm leaning towards five thumbs up.
All right, Andrew, how many thumbs out of 10 are you giving this movie?
I'm pretty much just going to piggyback that. I think it's completely serviceable as something you can just kind of throw on and not pay attention to. Very pretty, but no substance. God, I really didn't enjoy watching it, so I'm just going to give it, I'll say 4.
All right, I was going to say in some ways the same, but in some ways the opposite. I don't think it's a movie you can just put on and watch, because the only value of this movie is watching it. So I would say that it should be your screensaver, and you should just mute it and just let it play in the background, and every once in a while you look and be like, those are some pretty colors. I really like that. I'll still, because the visuals were so strong, I will give it a 5 thumbs out of 10 because the visuals are so strong. Yep. Otherwise, it's not worth watching. But as a screensaver, totally worthwhile. All right, next week we've got something very different for you. It is Space Jam 2, A New Legacy.
Basketball camp is next weekend. You got amazing potential on the court, and I can help you get there.
That's not what I want, Dad. You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Hold up. Wrong floor. Bet Will Smith ain't got to deal with this.
Dad!
Down! What in the Matrix hell?
Welcome to the space.
Welcome, King James. I am the king of this domain. This is the serververse.
What'd you do to my son? Where's Dom?
The only way you're getting your son back is if you and I play a little basketball. Pete, send this clown to the rejects.
Wait. What is this? Ah! I'm a cartoon?
What's up, Doc?
I need to assemble an elite team to help get my son back.
I know what you're looking for. A dream team. Them, shoot the ball. Let's try that again, shall we?
King James. Welcome to
the Space Jam.
Introducing the Goon Squad.
You gotta win this game.
Let's end this.
Got you, Kron? And get our son back.
Classic.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
I'm going old school on his butt.
Whoa.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you are having a great week, a great life, and are dealing with all this craziness that's happening in the world right now as much as we are. We love you all. We can't wait to see you again. Come back next week for Space Jam.
You can see them?
A New Legacy. I see.
I can't see them.
I do. I'm looking through the camera right now. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Film buff. Erring.